Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're back for episode 9 of Forza Horizon 5. And I wanted to show you guys something that I think is kind of cool. I have made a race in Forza with a custom route that anybody can play. So if you guys have Horizon 5, you can actually play this. It's the longest possible race that you can make. This race is exactly 40 miles long. Now in the race, I've placed a few certain things that help to slow the AI down, because I find that the unbeatable AI are quite challenging. And I wanted this race to be playable for people who are, maybe a little bit more average and stuff, so that they, can have a fighting chance against the unbeatable AI. So that they can still earn, a good amount of money. And, if they're a little bit, slower, if they're a little bit newer to the game, you can still, hopefully, come in first place and get, some good credits and some good XP from the race. So the race is right here. It's the Sierra Verde Sprint is where you start it from. I'll show you guys where it is on the map, just in case you're interested. It is this race right here. It's very close to the long drag strip. So it's just down the road from there. So if you go in here, you enter the event, and you go to solo. Or if you're playing with friends, you can do PvP or, co-op versus AI. You're going to go over to the event lab. Now, this is what the event is called. It's called the 40 Miler. So if you guys want to play it, I think there is a way to search it up. Yes, you can search the title and obviously just type in the 40 Miler. So like I said, yeah, this is literally the longest race that you can even make in Forza Horizon 5. I kind of wish there was longer races that you can make, but at the same time, 40 miles is a pretty good distance, I gotta say. So I think for the car today, I was thinking about taking this, the McLaren 600 LT, because I really like this car. So I think I'm going to hop in this. So this is how we're going to do the race. I think I'm pretty much going to leave the race uncut so that you guys can see all the important parts. I'll even talk about, certain parts of the race that you maybe need to watch out for. I'll also show where the AI traps are and where there is a very major shortcut throughout the race. So as you guys can see, we are unbeatable, of course. So we get 100% credit bonus for doing this race. I'm just going to make sure the tune's good on this thing. Yes, it is. Okay, sweet. All right, we're going to start the race. So the race goes almost all the way around the map. It's not the full map, but it's close to it. I'm pretty happy with the overall race route. There's a lot of variety in it. There's some really sharp technical corners. There's also some really fast sections, like you can see that I'm on right now. Of course, we do go across the bridge because it is, quite an iconic part of the map. I tried to incorporate some of the more major parts of the map, or at least what I feel are, some of the cooler parts of the map. So the route does eventually go through the stadium, and it does eventually end at the very top of the volcano, which I think is very cool. Ooh, kind of having a race with this Charger right now. He's beating us, though. This is the Drift Charger, isn't it? I think it is. Interesting. Okay, now the Drift Charger is apparently now a race car, so there you go. Alright, so we're working on passing these AI. It's kind of weird, the unbeatable AI are not that good on a custom-made route. I guess it's because maybe the AI just don't really have the programming for it. I'm kind of wondering if Turn 10 is going to actually patch that and actually make them a little bit better. Or I don't know if maybe they're sort of following where my braking patterns were when I was actually creating the route. When I was creating the route, I was going a little bit slower because you actually have to place the checkpoints all manually. So I was taking it a little bit slower. So I'm kind of wondering if the AI sort of keep the same pace that you were sort of taking when you create the route. So kind of wondering about that, but I'm not honestly that sure. Now this part of the track has some, pretty long sweeping corners. It's a good part of the track. It's not my favorite, but it's a pretty good part, I feel like. Now the first AI trap is around these next two corners, and the AI basically just drive into some trees and kind of get stuck in there for a few seconds, like I said, just to help out some of the newer players, some of the players that don't have, as much experience as others. I personally don't feel like I need the AI traps, but I put them in so that, if I'm ever playing with some lesser skilled individuals, then, you know, they can have a fighting chance, at least. This part of the map is, I always forget how big it is. It's just a lot bigger than you think. So the first AI trap, they go straight up there into those trees. And then right after that, the AI also go up into these trees. So hopefully they lose some time there. I know they lose a little bit of time. As you can see, I've got a pretty good distance on the AI already. And as you can see, they're all hitting the first AI trap right now, if you look on the map. So they kind of get stuck there for a few seconds. And then at the second one, they also get stuck for another few seconds. So for me, honestly, I was kind of expecting the unbeatable AI to be a little bit more challenging. However, they're just not. So, I mean, might as well play on unbeatable difficulty to get the credit boost. So, yeah. And then right here, we have a really sharp corner. So you got to make sure you slow down for it. Make it around it, obviously. Here we go. And then there's a really deceptive corner coming up here as well that you really got to watch out for. It's this corner right here. You got to brake really hard for this corner. Well, maybe not really hard, but a lot of the time I'll find myself going way too fast into that corner and I always overshoot it. So, you know, I'm still getting used to the race myself. Right here we have a T-Rex prop. It's probably a little bit hard to see, but because we blew past it so quickly, but it is there. This part of the track becomes a little bit more technical. We got some sharper, slower corners up ahead here. This next one in particular, you have to really slow down for because it is a 90-degree corner. So you can go around it. And then this part of the race coming up after the next two corners here. Actually, I guess after the next three. This part right here, you really got to watch it because there's the bridge here and you can accidentally shoot yourself into the ditch if you're going too fast. So you got to kind of watch it there. This part of the race is probably like some of my favorite because it's just so technical. It's actually more coming up that it gets a little more technical and a little bit slower. So. Got a little straightaway here, and then it starts to get a little more twisty right here. I personally find some of the slower corners, some of the more technical stuff, a lot more fun. I know it's not for everybody. I know a lot of people just like to go as fast as possible all the time in a straight line, but I think turns are kind of what makes the game a little more interesting, so. Alright. Yeah, these few corners right here, I really enjoy doing. This McLaren's actually pretty nice. I have a pretty basic tune on it that I just kind of throw on any car. It's doing nicely though. The AI are actually starting to catch up to me. I'm sure you guys can probably see that on the minimap. They're a lot closer than they were before. So that's it's not exactly great. We're going to have to get away from them, but I'm sure we're probably going to win the race because there is another shortcut coming up. And there is an accidental AI trap that I actually didn't even intend to be one, but it is there. So it is what it is, I guess. I may go ahead and recreate this route at some point too, and maybe take a little bit different of a route. But I wanted to kind of do something unique. Some of the roads that you don't drive in the Goliath and the Colossus, some of them overlap. Obviously, there's only a certain amount of roads in this game, but yeah, kind of wanted to just have my own route. So this part you loop back around, and you actually enter the canyon. So this is one of my favorite parts of the track because I just love the canyon in Forza Horizon 5. I think it's like maybe one of my favorite areas next to the volcano, I want to say. Overall, I mean, the map's great. There's no really bad areas on it, I don't think. They did a really good job with this map. So I do appreciate what turn 10 has done, that's for sure. Used to having a little more downforce there. This corner you really have to brake for too. It's really deceptive. It doesn't look that sharp, but it actually kind of is. So that's one to look out for. Where are these AI? Okay, they're following at a little distance there. All right, and then this corner, of course, you also have to brake for pretty good because it is pretty sharp. And then now we've officially entered the canyon. Well, almost. We're about to. Now, in the canyon, there is a very major shortcut that you can do. It will save probably about 30 seconds on the track. So, if you're going for a lap record on the track, I'd recommend taking the shortcut. That's for sure. Again, the shortcut I intentionally designed so that players who are a little bit slower can, maybe if the AI have caught right up to them by this point in the race, they can get ahead again. So the shortcut is closer to the end of the canyon, or maybe about the 3/4 mark through the canyon. So it's coming around in the next few bends here. This corner is really sharp too. You got to really brake for it. Alright, here is the part where the shortcut is. As you can see, there's a tunnel right there, and I made the track go around this way. So what you're going to do is go through the tunnel. And then you want to start braking kind of early before you get sent out into the riverbed. Try not to hit the wall like I just did. It's not exactly ideal. But as you can see, the AI are actually going around that whole section there. So you will save probably, I would say 20 to 30 seconds on average, which, pretty decent. So this should definitely put me ahead for the rest of the race. I mean, the AI weren't really catching up to me there anyways, but definitely gonna gain quite a bit from doing this. So I kind of think it's cool to have the little shortcut in the race. I remember in Forza Horizon 2, I think it was in the Goliath race. I can't remember if it was called the Goliath. There was a little shortcut that you could do, and it would save you about 50 seconds on the race. And it was actually made by turn 10, so I guess they just missed it probably when they actually made the race. But yeah, it was sick. Alright, and then this part is more of the faster sweeping corners again, going down towards the stadium. Cut through the city really quickly. I didn't want to spend too much time in the city. It's nice to be in the city, but there are a lot of really weird sort of technical corners in here, and I just didn't really feel like adding too many of those because I know some of my friends don't really like the really technical corners, and me and my friends are gonna probably play this race quite a decent amount. So, oh, I need to slow down for that corner. Ooh. Unless your car has a lot of downforce, that's a bad corner. It can mess you up pretty good. And of course we cut into the stadium right here. Go through the little concert right here. Now this acts as a unintentional AI trap. Those poles on that tent are not breakable, and I didn't even place the tent there. It's just there for some reason. So I'm really not sure why, but it is. So there you have it. Now this part of the race gets a little more technical. It kind of reminds me of that section we went through earlier that was a little bit more twisty. Once you get the hang of it though, it's pretty fun, this part. So I personally like it a lot. I've only done this race about 4 times, I want to say, so I haven't even got all that much experience with it, and it's my own race. So I really hope that some of you guys try this race out if you have Horizon 5. I would highly recommend it if you don't have Horizon 5. And I mean, I'd recommend checking out my race too. But yeah. Now this part of the track is the fastest part, I want to say. These corners are very shallow, and you can go very, very quickly through all of them. So, yeah, this part of the race is it's definitely more fun for the guys that like to max out their car's top speed and, well, maybe not max it out, but, you know, get up there a little bit more. It is a pretty straight section. It goes through the festival a little bit and then wraps around. And we have a really, really sharp corner right here. You gotta watch out for. So, go around that. Let's see, where are the AI? Oh, they're starting to catch up a little bit. On that straightaway section, they gain some time on you for sure. So that's one thing to watch out for. Unless you have a faster car than mine. If I had a faster car, then you know it'd probably be fine. Like if I was driving like a Koenigsegg or something with a little bit higher top speed, probably be doing, you know, a little bit better. But the McLaren's it's a pretty nice little S1 car. I personally like S1 class the best. S2's fun too. I mean, it's really, really fast, but I don't know, S1's kind of a sweet spot, I feel like. It's when your car, you know, is pretty fast, and it's got pretty good grip, but it's not, you know, just downforce galore. Necessarily. I actually have to, you know, fight to keep the car on the road a little bit, so kind of like it. Unless you have like a super like grip tune, like I have on my NSX R GT that was in the last video. Alright, and then leading up to the volcano here, we basically just follow the route of the drift zone, while the route, and the route just up the mountain, obviously. Not really any off-roading on this section of the race. This, of course, is a pretty twisty section of the race too. As you can see, the unbeatable AI have actually caught up to me, so they're not something to mess around too much with. I think if you did want to lower the difficulty, of course you can. So you know, if you're having troubles with AI, you can adjust it to your liking. But if you're semi-fast at racing, you'll probably do, you know, pretty all right, I think. And as long as you don't mess up too much. Alright, we are 89% done the race. So, we're getting there. It is a very long race. It is 40 miles long, so it definitely takes a few minutes to do, but you do get a pretty nice XP and money reward at the end of it. Obviously, every time you level up too, you get wheel spins, so that also, you know, is an extra incentive. Usually I level up about 3 to 4 times from this race, so it's pretty good. It's not the worst. Ooh, a little too much sauce going into that corner. It's okay though. Managed to save it. Ooh. Oh man. I'm messing up these corners a little bit. Still making it around them, just kind of going through the dirt and the grass a little bit, but it's okay. It's just taking the inside line, that's all. All right. This part of the race is really fun. It's a pretty fast section of track, and it keeps going up and down too, which is really cool. It makes your car kind of feel lighter. I find a lot of the time, so it's kind of a cool feeling. Yeah, and if you guys have Horizon 5 and you want to check out the race, you know, I challenge you guys to try and get, you know, good lap times and stuff like that. See if you can beat my record. I'm not sure what we're going to finish with here. Probably going to be around 18 minutes and 15 seconds, I want to say. We'll see, though. Well, maybe a little bit quicker. Maybe 18... Oh, no. 18:15. Probably. Oh, no. 18:12. Oh. 18:11.4. Pretty good. Pretty good. That's an S1 class McLaren 600 LT, so if you guys want to try to beat me in your S1 class cars, go for it. I'd like to see that. And if you want to post it in the comments, let me know if you beat my time or not. I'm always interested to see, so. There's an extra 35 grand already from the first wheel spin that we got. I'm not actually 100% sure how much the race pays. It doesn't really say at the end of the race. Sometimes it'll tell you in game. We'll see if it does right now. It doesn't. Doesn't seem to want to tell me. So let's see, how many wheel spins do we have? Okay, so yeah, 3 wheel spins usually. There's another 175k, and let's see what we get from this one too. Another 125, so that's 300k, and well, 335k in wheel spins right there. Plus, I believe you get around, I want to say 150 to 200 grand for doing the race. So it is a pretty nice race to get some money on, and it's point to point, so you don't have to do laps. Anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show you guys that race for episode 9 here. Probably for episode 10, I know we kind of took a little break there. But for episode 10, I think we're probably going to work on some of the rally aspects of the game, and some of the more off-road sections too. So we'll see that. I'm actually really interested to see that too. Also, once you start getting into that, you do unlock the ability to buy a house that will allow you to fast travel anywhere on the map, which I'm really looking forward to, because every time I go to start the 40 miler, I have to drive over to the event, which it's not the worst thing ever, but it's a little bit annoying. But it's okay. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like as always. Dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you guys are new. And I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.